Pris here, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to this week's reading vlog. In this week's reading vlog, I'm going to be focusing mainly on my Wacky Witches TBR, as, well, this is the week of the Wacky Witches readathon. So it is actually now, like, 2:30 in the morning on Wednesday. Monday morning, I was tired, and I wrapped up my vlog, and then got into bed and just lost any energy to film the start of this. Especially considering, if you watched that vlog, you knew I only had about half an hour left of this. I had, like, so little left in this book. I'll briefly touch on this here. This is Husband Material. It is the second book in the London Calling series, and it is a direct sequel from book 1, and we're following Luke and Oliver and their continuing adventures. I think I'm going 4.25 stars on this. I think I was thinking 4.5, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the way it wrapped up. So yeah, I think that dropped it down a bit. So 4.25 stars, but there was no way I was filming that clip when I needed to finish reading this. And then I ended up just feeling too tired to film and got distracted by some other stuff. And then I thought about it a couple times Monday, but I just didn't sit down and film it, and told myself I was going to do it today, and then I just completely forgot that I hadn't filmed this. So I've just remembered I'm now going to film this, even though I want to be reading. So, other than Husband Material, outside of my Wacky Witches TBR, I've read a little bit more of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, but I put in a request for a physical copy from my library. The last time I looked, there were no physical copies. I don't know what I did, but I decided to double check because reading the ebook while listening to the audiobook was atrocious. It just was not working for me because the book has footnotes. And to get to the footnotes on the ebook, at least, you have to flip to the back of the book, which is extremely hard to do in an ebook while you're listening to an audiobook. So the footnotes would come on, and some of them are, like, really long, and I would just lose track of what was going on because I couldn't physically see it. So I decided to double check and make sure my library really didn't have a physical copy, and they do. So as soon as I can go to the library and pick that up, I will pop back into it. Though I may have to wait to get my hands on the audiobook again because I was in line for it, got it, and now I'm almost out of time to listen to it. And I don't think I'm going to get to the library and have enough time to listen to the audiobook before I have to return it. So it may be a little bit before I can get back to that, and there's a very good chance I may just start the whole thing over because I'm not that far into it. I'm only like 100 pages into it, and I'm confused because of all the footnotes. So I will probably start that one over. So that's probably not happening this week. Now, as for my TBR, here is what it looked like, and I have read some of this. I also have an ebook and an audiobook, and I haven't started those yet. So I have The Diamond Eye, which is a historical fiction, and we're following this woman named Mila who decides to join up with the Russian army after Russia is invaded by Germany during World War II, and she is destined to become one of the most well-known snipers ever. No, history's deadliest sniper, not just one of the well-known, I guess the most deadly female sniper ever in the history of, well, history. But I'm buddy reading this with Naomi from Naomi's Bookshelf, and we're reading like 5 chapters a day. So I am now on page 187, and I am really enjoying this. It is so fascinating to look at Mila's life and see her motivations, why she wanted to join up with the Russian soldiers, and what she's fighting for, and how she compartmentalizes everything that's going on. She's got a young son at home, and it is just so interesting because Kate Quinn is doing a great job of showing the soldier and also sneaking in hints of the scholar and mother and child that is Mila, and doing so in such a way that it completely makes sense. I think she's doing a great job of showing the war and how brutal it is and how hard it is to do what Mila is doing and survive the things Mila is surviving. It has also got a dual timeline because we see like a year later when Mila is in America and is meeting the First Lady and the President, and some interesting things are happening with that. I'm very much enjoying both timelines, and I like the way this is written. Each chapter starts with like a blurb where it says like the official version of my memoir and then the unofficial version, and we kind of get to see what she is kind of required to say, or what the PR spin is on everything, and then what Mila was really feeling. I am really, really enjoying this book, and I very much do not want to put it down. So that is exciting because I wasn't sure, because I'm not really in a historical fiction kind of mood. But this book has definitely got me hooked, and I legitimately cannot wait to read the next 5 chapters, but I'm saving it for morning because I had other things I wanted to read tonight. I have not picked up either of these yet, though I will get to them at some point. I just wasn't in the mood for this yet. I mean, of all the books I'm reading, I think this is the one I'm least interested in reading right now, so it'll probably be the last one I pick up. And then this one, I'm hoping is spooky. I'm going into it blind because fall cover, so you won't hear my thoughts on it here, but I'm hoping it's spooky, so it's not going to be one I read at night. And lately, I seem to be doing a majority of my reading at night. I don't know why I can't seem to read during the day, but it's just not happening. Today, I spent hours figuring out my Historathon TBR, even though it is October 11th, and Historathon is until November. Also, 4 readathons. I'm planning on doing 4 readathons in the month of November, and it's only the 11th. I may add more. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I really, really don't. But to be fair, one of them is the Final Book Support Group, so, I mean, that one is going to be really, really simple because I'm going to be reading sequels. And as you all know, I have my TBR jar, so at the very least, I'm going to be reading 3 sequels every month anyways. So that one's not exactly going to mess with my TBR, although I will say, of all of the books that I managed to get on my Historathon TBR, only one of them is a sequel. So that didn't really work in my favor, but, like, usually historical fiction is more of a standalone genre, so there's that. I'm at least not adding more series with that one. And then the other readathon I want to do is the Cat Lady readathon, which means Warriors books, most likely. So I can't exactly complain about that one because I had a really good time with the last one, so I don't think either of those will be too hard. And then I have the Once Upon a Readathon one, which will be a little bit trickier, but you can triple up on prompts. Because the way it's kind of set up, you're going on this, like, quest, and you have to complete each stage, and each stage has 3 prompts. So if you could find a book that hit all 3 prompts, you can triple up. So I'm going to try to double or triple up wherever I possibly can, because I don't want to have to overwhelm myself. Anyways, back to my reading. I then picked up the Space Dog Cometh, which is the 3rd book in the Claude Evil Alien Warlord Cat series. I am on page 99. I should be done with this, but I'm listening to the audiobook. I can only listen to it at 2 times speed, and it's worth it. I could listen to it way faster. I could probably physically read it way faster, but the audiobook is brilliant. And I'm sitting there listening to the audiobook going, this voice sounds familiar. It reminds me of the voice actor from Upon a Burning Throne, which I read ages ago. Maybe during the pandemic. I might have read it in the beginning of the pandemic. Like, I don't even know when I read it. But I'm going, it sounds so familiar, and I could swear it's Upon the Burning Throne. I was right. I was very, very right. Then I'm listening to one of the other voices, because there's 3. We have Raj and Claude, who are 2 main characters. And then this one, we have a 3rd one. And the 3rd voice started to sound familiar, and I'm like, another voice sounds familiar. I looked it up. He is a voice in The Name of All Things, as is the guy from Upon a Burning Throne. So there's a voice actor who does The Ruin of Kings, and I think other books in that series, Claude, and Upon a Burning Throne. It's absolutely crazy. I love when I find voice actors that are that versatile, though I'm really glad I was able to start to place them, because otherwise it would have driven me nuts. I should probably look up the 3rd voice actor and see what he's done, because For all I know, he's also been in audiobooks I've listened to, and I'm just not placing him yet. Or he hasn't said something that's made it click, but I'm really, really enjoying this. I would highly recommend the audiobooks if you have access to them because they're fantastic. And I love this series. It's really, really funny. And I have about an hour left, and I keep putting off listening to it because I want to just be able to sit down and listen to it. And I haven't had a straight hour where I can just fly through it. So there's that. And then I started The Nature of Witches. I am now on page 226. I'm absolutely finishing this before I go to bed, and I am loving this. We are following, God, I can't remember names. Clara, who is an Everwitch, which means she has the ability to control magic for all 4 seasons. Usually you're born with the ability to control 1 season. It's not that you can't do magic in other seasons, but if you have summer magic, you always do summer magic. It's just weaker in the non-summer season. And for Clara, in summer, she has summer magic. In autumn, she has autumn magic. In winter, she has winter magic. And in spring, she has spring magic. And basically, these witches are around to kind of help control the weather and the atmosphere and things that are going on, and things are going screwy. And as an Everwitch, there's a lot of pressure on Clara because there hasn't been one in a very long time, to the point that nobody really knows what they're capable of or how to train them. And she struggles with her magic and kind of has to figure out how to use it to help. And I've loved this book. I've loved getting to learn the different kinds of magic and seeing Clara kind of go through them and talk about how, for Clara, they shift her mood because usually your magic is kind of tied in slightly with your personality. And with Clara, you see shifts in her personality based on the season she's in because her magic has shifted. And it's so incredibly fascinating. And it's an interesting look on the way the climate is kind of going out of control, because we obviously have that in the real world, but in this world, it's also happening. I mean, she's in Pennsylvania, so it's not like she's not in the real world. But as far as I know, there are not witches out there trying to deal with natural disasters and heat waves and fluke snowstorms and stuff like that. So it is interesting to see how that affects things, and to see Clara struggle with the transitions and trying to relate to her classmates and everything that goes along. So I've been really sucked into this, and I really like the flow of the book and the structure of the book, and it's a page turner. It makes me want to just keep going. So hopefully I can finish this tonight before I get too tired and have to go to sleep. But yeah, I think that's all of the update I have right now. I'm making decent progress because literally this is one sit down away from me finishing this. Like I said, I only need like an hour. This I will hopefully finish tonight. Neither of these should take long if I get into them. I'm reading a cozy mystery and the third book in the Wonderland retelling by Colleen Oakes, and I know that the first 2 of those books did not take me long at all, so I can't imagine the third one would either, and cozy mysteries tend to be fast reads. So the only one that would be a struggle is this one, and I'm reading 5 chapters a day. I have a schedule. As long as I stick to my schedule, I should be good. I might have to double up on the last day to finish it within the readathon. So instead of reading 5 chapters on the 16th, I'll probably read all 10 and just wrap it up a day early so that I can squeeze it into the readathon. But either way, I am very much enjoying what I've picked so far, which is kind of nice. And if I can get through all of that so that I only have this one left in the next couple of days, then I will try to squeeze in some other stuff, because it's not like I don't have the TBR for it. Plus, I have my fall covers, and I've picked out my 5-star predictions. I've got the video filmed. If I can edit it, it'll go out this week. I really need to get back to editing, and yeah, I think I just need more hours in the day. Or to not fall behind. And the only reason I fell behind in September is because I decided to do all the readathons, and I went, oh great, October, I'll have so much time to catch up on everything. And then I basically spent all of my extra time in October planning November TBRs, because, well, I've lost my mind. So yeah, I'm apparently going to be doing all of the readathons in November as well, and hopefully you will see this before November. Fingers crossed, we're going to try to catch up. So yeah, I'm going to go read, finish my book, and then hopefully get some sleep so that I can be an editing and reading machine. So I will check in with you soon when I have something to update you on. And I believe for a change, you're going to be getting some squirrels. So enjoy the squirrels. So it is Saturday afternoon now, and I meant to check in yesterday, but yesterday it was like everything that could go wrong, it did go wrong, and it just was not my day, so I did not end up sitting down to film. But today I do want to check in because I have made some progress. So first up, I finished The Nature of Witches. I'm giving this 4.5 stars. I really, really love the book. I love the magic in this book and how we follow Clara and we see how the different magic affects her, and we get to see how each season has different magic and how that magic works. I love the relationships that Clara has with different characters in this book, and I love the way the book was written and how it kind of all came together at the end. I definitely see myself reading more from Rachel Griffin in the future because I really, really like the way this book kind of came together, and I am so glad that I decided to pick it up and give it a shot, and yeah, it's definitely a new fave of mine. Then I finished Claude, Evil Alien Warlord Cat, Space Dog Cometh, and I'm giving this 4.5 stars. I love this series. So this series is about Claude, who's an evil alien warlord cat. He gets banished to Earth and ends up getting taken in by a human Raj and has been trying to figure out how to get back to his planet. In this one, we get to meet a dog that comes from the Dog Star Cluster who is looking to get his paws on Claude. There were so many funny moments in this book, and I got really attached to Barks the dog, and I'm hoping we see more of him in the future. I just think this series is really, really funny and has a lot of humor and a lot of puns. Because, like, I mean, you have a dog called Barks. When they get into some of the planets you would find in the Dog Star Cluster, they are dog puns. Kind of like you have Claude, whose real name is Wizcuz, and he's from planet Litterbox. So I love the humor in these books. I love the relationship that Raj has with Claude, and it's such a fun series, and I will definitely be continuing it sooner rather than later. Then I finished The Diamond Eye, and this is also getting 4.5 stars. I'm on a really good roll with books lately. This is a historical fiction, and we're following a female sniper named Mila, and she is Russian and is part of the Russian army during World War II. And I just thought this book was absolutely fascinating. I love getting to see what Mila went through and her motivations for being a sniper and all of the relationships she developed along the way, despite the fact that she's in the midst of war. I liked both timelines because we have the timeline where we're following Mila as she is headed off to war, and then we follow a more recent timeline where she's getting ready to meet with Eleanor Roosevelt and the president in the hopes of getting them to send American aid for Russia. And I thought how the two timelines converged was very interesting. I thought what was happening in both timelines was interesting. And I just really love the way this book came together and the way Kate Quinn brought Mila to life and made you really feel for her and understand her motivations. And it was just such a intriguing book and a book that I didn't want to put down. And I was buddy reading this one with Naomi like I did the Enola Holmes books. But there was no way we were reading this in one sitting like we did those. So we were reading like 5 chapters a day. And it was so hard not to just keep going when I'd get done with my 5 chapters. So I really, really loved this book. It was just missing that one thing that made it 5 stars for me. But amazing read and another great book by Kate Quinn. And then I've made some progress. So I started the Tall Tales Secret Book Club. And I can't remember our main character's name. It's an ebook. I can't look it up because I'm on my phone. So our main character basically has joined the staff of this like lady who owns like a manor, and there ends up being a dead body, and she sort of starts investigating. This is not my favorite cozy mystery. I'm sticking with it because I'm going to try to get through the first book, but based on the way I'm feeling, it's feeling very 2-star-ish. A lot of stuff doesn't make sense. You kind of get thrown into the book and there's no explanation for what is going on or who these people are or why we should care about them. Our main character barely knows any of these people, and it's just, I don't know, it's missing some of the charm that I usually find in my cozy mysteries, and it's just not clicking for me. So as I said, right now it sits at a 2-star. I can't see me continuing the series, but I will likely finish this one out. And then the other book I started is The Night Gardener. Now, I can't talk about this because it's a fall cover, but I have started this, and I'm on page 94, so I'm making some decent progress. And yeah, I can't really, like I said, say much more because I'm saving that for my fall covers wrap up. As for Wacky Witches, that means I need to finish this, finish the Tall Tales Secret Book Club, listen to the War of Cards, and read this. I have like 36 hours to go, so it's doable. Because I think I have a couple hours left in the audiobook of this. According to Kindle, my reading speed says I have less than an hour of the Tall Tales Secret Book Club left. I think it'll only take me like a couple hours to listen to the War of Cards, so it's really going to depend on how long it takes me to read this. And this is a middle grade, so I'm hopefully going to be all right, but we'll see. All in all, I've really enjoyed getting to do this readathon, and it's been fun. So we'll see if I can finish everything off. I haven't read anything else that is like off TBR, which is different for me, but hopefully I will be able to wrap all of this up and somehow complete the readathon before Sunday night. And that's probably when I will check back in with you. For now, I think I am going to go pop over into bed with this one here and read. I will check in with you soon. So it is now Wednesday, and I'm only just wrapping this up. So my plan had been to wrap this up Monday morning after I got up. And then Monday, my allergies were horrendous. And I felt like complete crap. So the last thing I wanted was to be on camera. And then I had hoped to get to it today. But today was just a busier day than I planned. Like, I slept in because I felt like I needed a bit more sleep. And then we had a Tuesday night Dynamite. Plus, I was keeping my eye on baseball because I don't have a dog in the fight anymore, as I'm a Cubs fan. But I'm still curious to see who's going to go to the World Series. And the Yankees have Anthony Rizzo, and the Phillies have Kyle Schwarber, and they were both Cubs during the season where we won the World Series. So I'm kind of rooting for them in that sense. So I've been kind of keeping an eye on baseball as well. So this is the first opportunity I've had to sit down and film this, and I wasn't even sure I was going to do that because with Dynamite being on, one of my favorite wrestlers tonight got injured in the ring. And that put me in a really weird headspace, so I wasn't sure whether I was actually going to do this tonight. But it seems like he's got a concussion, which I'm going to say that is the best case scenario because we were worried about broken necks and possibly being paralyzed. So out of all the possible injuries we thought he might have, concussion was the best option, even though there is no such thing as a good concussion. So it seems like he's all right, and hopefully he'll be back soon and everything will be okay. But it was definitely a scary few hours there because I think that's the first time somebody's got legitimately injured in the ring in AEW and had to have like the match called off and the match ended and just craziness happening. So I decided I was going to film this since I knew he was all right. And, well, I really needed to. So this readathon was a bit of a big fail for me. I did not finish any of the other books on my TBR since I last updated you. So I needed to read the Tall Tales Secret Book Club. I'm 82 pages into that, which puts me at about 38%. And I did not get back to that. Basically, this weekend, I caught up with a friend. We chatted on the phone because I don't go anywhere or see anybody because germs. And so I hadn't talked to her in a while. So we talked both Saturday and Sunday and kind of caught up and virtually hung out. I mean, we were on the phone, but we hung out. And that basically ate up my reading time. But I believe that's basically where I was the last time I checked in with you. I don't know that I want to continue that book. I kind of want to DNF it. I've had no desire to pick it up and I wasn't exactly enjoying it. So I don't even know if I'm going to get back to that one. Then I started The War of Cards. I think it's like a 6-ish, maybe 7-hour audiobook, and I listened to about an hour. I'm going to finish that one because it's the last book in the trilogy and I'm invested in the trilogy, but like, it wasn't what I was picking up when I did have the ability to read. Then I needed to read The Night Gardener, and I got to page 192, and this is a fall cover, so I will definitely be finishing this one regardless of my feelings on it, and I won't be talking about my feelings on it because it's a fall cover video, but I didn't get to finish this either. I will say the audiobook is really good. I think the voice acting in the audiobook is really well done, so I'm enjoying the voice acting, but whether I'm enjoying the story, you'll have to wait for my vlog on my fall covers to find out. And then the last book I needed to read was A Pinch of Phoenix, and I got to page 168. So I didn't finish this one either. Like I said, it was just basically I wasn't going to read this at night because it's spooky. I will tell you, it gave me the spooky vibes that I was looking for. So I was not going to be reading it at night because spooky. So then I was picking this one up and, well, I ran out of time. There's only so many hours in the day and I had other things to do that weren't reading. And because I was focused on 4 books instead of 1, I didn't finish any of them. But this is the 3rd book in a series, and in this series we're following Leilu, who works at a restaurant, and it's a world that has elves and scientists and just lots of political maneuvering, I believe. It's been a while since I've read the first couple of books, but I know in this one we're seeing a lot of that political battle, tug of war kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure that was a common theme throughout the first 2 books as well. I'm quite enjoying this one. I think I would have enjoyed it more had I read it closer to the first 2 books, because I keep having to kind of jog my memory and go, oh, right, that was going on when I read something in this book. So I probably could have done with a reread of the series before I read this one, but oh well. I am going to finish this at some point because I am enjoying this. So yeah, that was my readathon. I actually really like the idea of this readathon. It just came in a week when I wasn't reading as much. But on the bright side, the books I did finish for this readathon, I really enjoyed. So all in all, it wasn't my best reading week, but the books I did read, I really loved. And hopefully I will be able to finish the ones I'm in the midst of at some point. I've been having a finishing a book problem, so we'll see. And I believe Pris said something about another round coming in December, so I will definitely be partaking in that. That's it for this week's vlog. All of my social media, including my Discord, is linked in the description below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me witchy emojis. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!